Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video, and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello, my name is Corey Sinez, the Chief of the Buena Police Department. This critical incident community briefing is intended to provide you with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred on Friday, September 3rd, 2021, in the 6800 block of Orangethorpe Avenue. You are about to see relevant video footage and photographs, as well as hear audio recordings and learn of other related evidence so you have a better understanding of what occurred during this incident. An officer-involved shooting is a tragic event for everyone, for our officers, for our community, and for the family members of those involved. These incidents demand the highest level of scrutiny and rightfully are a matter of public concern. The Buena Police Department conducts exhaustive investigations following any officer-involved shooting. The investigation related to this incident is still ongoing and could take up to 1 year to complete. With that in mind, we withhold judgment and do not draw any conclusions about whether or not our officers acted within our policies and in accordance with the law until after all the facts are known and the investigations are complete. A word of caution: the images and footage you are about to see may be disturbing. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or defend against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. In addition, there may be strong language used by those shown in the video. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for young children and sensitive viewers.
Hello, my name is Chad Weaver, the Public Information Officer for the Buena Park Police Department. This critical incident community briefing is intended to provide you with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred on Friday, September 3rd, 2021. On that date, at approximately 1:59 p.m., a Buena Park police officer was patrolling the area of Orangethorpe Avenue and Western Avenue when he noticed a silver SUV collide with a school bus. Upon further observation, he watched the driver of the vehicle, pictured here, and later identified as Cedric Baxter, exit the SUV, produce a gun, and shoot at the bus. The officer immediately responded to render assistance, at which time Mr. Baxter ran back to the SUV and fled the location in the vehicle. In response to his observations, the officer initiated a vehicle pursuit. As the officer pursued the vehicle, the school bus tried to flee the area. However, Mr. Baxter used the SUV to repeatedly ram the bus. The following is dash cam footage of the incident as it unfolded.
Hey, I'm out with the 433 Cedric.
32 copy, out with the 417. Confirm. 918.
On the way down. Orangethorpe from Western. Hey, trying to run over the school bus.
32 copy. What's the Orangethorpe from?
415 Cedric. Send me another unit code 2, please.
Confirm 31 and 35 in route.
We're south on Western front of Orangethorpe now. I believe he shot at the school bus. Trying to ram it off the road.
Copy south on Western, possibly shot fired.
The bus line to westbound Hawame will continue south on Western.
Copy westbound westbound.
Westbound Otero from Western.
For the next several minutes, Mr. Baxter led Buena Park police officers on a high-speed pursuit throughout the city, operating the vehicle in a dangerous and extremely unsafe manner. driving with a wanton disregard for the rules of the road and the motoring public. At one point, Mr. Baxter drove to the Buena Park School District bus maintenance yard, located in the 6800 block of Orangethorpe Avenue, and entered the facility. He circled a parking area and then headed back out to city streets. Mr. Baxter continued to drive recklessly by speeding, driving over sidewalks, and running stop signs. At times, he drove the wrong way and nearly collided with several vehicles. Approximately 9 minutes after the pursuit was initiated, Mr. Baxter drove back to the Buena Park School District bus maintenance yard. When he arrived, he crashed through a locked gate and then rammed a parked vehicle. Shortly after, an officer-involved shooting occurred. The following is dash cam footage of Mr. Baxter returning to the school bus maintenance yard, his actions, and the subsequent officer-involved shooting.
If you don't lead in and drop out, your front tire is about to come off.
On the wrong way and westbound on Orangethorpe. So I'm wrong way and then westbound on Orangethorpe.
Wrong way, westbound Orangethorpe.
Number 1 pursuit.
10 4.
Please, my vehicle's BO. I'm going to be at the 76 together.
32 heavy.
Into the parking lot of the school, guys. Dude, we got people back here in the school. You guys gotta jam them up. We gotta stop this. We got people back here. I'm sorry, 76 flight. Alright, you're in the school. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
All Buena Park Police Patrol officers are equipped with body-worn cameras. Per Buena Park Police Department policy, all body-worn cameras must be worn in a forward-facing position that facilitates comprehensive recordings of contacts and/or incidents. You're about to view body-worn camera footage from that perspective. It is important to keep in mind that body-worn cameras are an investigative tool, and like any device, they have limitations. Body-worn cameras do not necessarily capture everything an officer sees, just like a body-worn camera may capture something an officer does not see. Further, body-worn cameras do not have the ability to depict what an officer is feeling or experiencing during a given incident. The following footage is from the primary officer's body-worn camera.
BO, I'm going to be at the 76 together.
32 heavy.
Into the parking lot of the school, guys. We got people back here in the school. You guys gotta jam them up. We gotta stop this. We got people back here.
You need to block that other driveway.
Come out! Hold on! Stand by! Everybody stand by! Stand by! Drop the gun! You're good, right? Stand by! There's a gun! Drop the gun! Stand by! Stand by! There's a gun in his hand! Stand by! Drop the gun! Stand by! He has a gun in his hand! Gun in his left hand! He has a gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! 601. Stand by! He has a gun in his hand! Stand by!
After the officer-involved shooting, and when the scene was safe, officers began rendering medical aid to Mr. Baxter, including applying a tourniquet. Paramedics from the Orange County Fire Authority responded and assumed care. Mr. Baxter was pronounced deceased at the scene. The following are evidentiary photographs of the weapon Mr. Baxter used in connection with this incident. And this is an evidentiary photograph of the bullet strike on the school bus. Buena Park Police Department homicide detectives responded to the location and initiated an investigation related to this incident. The investigation revealed that this was not a random act, but the school bus driver was Mr. Baxter's wife, and he intended to murder her. The victim had an active domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Baxter for a recent domestic violence incident perpetrated in Los Angeles County. The investigation also revealed there was a 6-year-old boy on the bus at the time of this incident. Mr. Baxter had an extensive criminal history, including prior convictions for rape, armed robbery, voluntary manslaughter, narcotic-related offenses, and domestic violence. At the time of this incident, he was on active CDC parole for vehicle theft with priors, and his parole had been revoked. Further, there was an active parole violation warrant for Mr. Baxter, and he had cut off his GPS monitoring device related to his status as a sex offender.
In the city of Buena Park, when a critical incident such as an officer-involved shooting occurs, 3 simultaneous investigations are immediately initiated. The Orange County District Attorney's Office conducts the primary investigation into the actions of the involved officers to determine whether their actions were within the law. The Buena Park Police Department's homicide detail investigates criminal conduct of any potential suspects prior to or during the incident. The third is an internal administrative investigation. This investigation examines any areas where improvement can be made and determines whether the actions of the involved officers were within policy and consistent with our training. If you would like more information on the Buena Park Police Department's use of force policy, please visit www.bppd.com. Thank you for taking the time to view this critical incident community briefing.
All right, let's get into it.
The following is dash cam footage of the incident as it unfolded.
So this is over in here where it's going on at. Talk about perfect timing, so to speak. You know, this officer is just coming up on this intersection and boom, this crazy shit's going on.
Hey, Jim, I was the 450 cover. Where's the one?
32 copy, I was the 417. Confirm. 918.
I'm westbound. Orange Slope from Western. Hey, Pablo. Trying to run over the school bus.
32 copy. What's the orange slope from?
415 Cedric. Send me another unit code 2, please.
Confirm 31 and 35 in route.
We're south on Western.
Now keep in mind, this entire time, it's not just this woman driving the bus. There's also a little 6-year-old kid in this bus.
Prime Orange Slope now. I believe he shot at the school bus. Turn around and off the road.
Copy southbound Western, possibly.
So he has been ramming this vehicle and he shot at them. There's a photo of the school bus with the bullet hole in it. So he's done shot at this person driving the bus, and there's a kid in the bus as well. So when we get to, let's back it up. So when we see this, he's already been, I'll back it up even further.
As it unfolded.
Pay attention to the bus. Here comes his vehicle. Ramming into it. So he shoots at the bus. In this moment, this guy who's got the gun in his hand and running, I think this officer would have been in the fucking clear to jump that median and run his ass over with the car. Perfectly legal option, in my opinion. This guy's used deadly physical force against this bus driver. He's a clear and present danger. Like, in my opinion, this officer should have just hit the accelerator and ran this son of a bitch over. He doesn't. He avoids going over the median right there. And then decides to cross the median here. could have crossed that median at any point, but he chose not to.
32 copy, I was at 417.
Yeah.
Confirm. 918.
Westbound. Orange Slope from Western. Any problem. Trying to run over the school bus.
Looks like this guy on the sidewalk wants to do something.
Over the school bus.
32 copy. Westbound Orange Slope from
415
This
copy.
poor person in the Chrysler. Notice the car is nice and pristine looking.
32 copy. Westbound Orange Slope from
Boom.
415 copy. Send me
And I'll be pissed.
the units go through, please.
confirm 31 and 35 en route.
We're south on Western front of Orange Slope now. I believe the shot at the school bus. Turn around and off the road.
Copy southbound Western, possibly shot fired.
The bus line to westbound Hawame. I'll continue southbound Western. Westbound Otero.
The next several minutes with a wanton disregard for the rules of the Buena Park School District bus maintenance yard located in this.
So him going to this bus yard makes me wonder if he thought that the woman would have came here after that, being rammed or whatever.
6800 block of Orange Slope Avenue and entered the facility. He circled a parking area and then headed back out to city streets. Mr. Baxter continued to drive recklessly by speeding, driving over sidewalks,
So I think he was still in hunting mode.
and running stop signs. At times, he drove the wrong way and nearly collided with several vehicles. Approximately 9 minutes yard, shortly footage, and the sub.
Your front tire is about to come off.
I'm wrong way and westbound on Orange Slope. So I'm wrong way and then westbound on Orange Slope.
Wrong way, westbound Orange Slope.
Number 142.
10 bar.
Please, my vehicle's BO. I'm going to be at 76 gas.
32 copy.
Into the parking lot of the school, guys. We got people back here in the school. You guys gotta jam them up. We gotta stop this. We got people back here.
So you can see the gun right up in here. We'll back it up.
We gotta stop this. We got
So pay attention through the driver's side window here.
people back here.
You can see it in his hand.
Back here. Back here.
Gun still in his hand means they should still keep shooting. Yeah, I mean, he wanted a fucking gunfight. Give it to him. He wanted this. Fucking give it to him. He still got that gun in his hand. Light his ass up. Fill him up with so much fucking lead he uses dick as a pencil. Yeah, I mean, this dude was shooting out with them. I mean, he made it from the vehicle, rolled on the ground, still after being shot, pointed it at him, continued this fight, and then rolls over and he still got the gun in his hand. There's no doubt in my mind that they should have kept shooting.
Shots fired.
All Buena Park Police Patrol officers are equipped with body-worn cameras, facing position to view body-worn cameras investigative for the capacity experiencing.
I'm gonna be at the 76 ground.
32 heavy.
Into the parking lot of the school, guys. We got people back here in the school.
So he is trying to drive the car and hold his gun. So I get why he wants to have his gun out and ready for the fight. This dude has shot at a bus driver with a kid on the bus. I get that. You want to be ready to fight at moment's notice. However, trying to
You guys gotta jam him up. We gotta stop.
trying to actuate the gear selector here with a gun in your hand, it's not the greatest thing.
We got back here.
In this instance, I think
You guys gotta jam him
that
up.
it would be better to use the emergency brake versus trying to use the gear selector. So his right foot is going to be on the brake pedal while he's rolling in at this point, right? With his right foot on the pedal and he's coming down to a stop, it would be very easy for him just to lift his left foot up and smash down on the emergency brake after rolling to a stop or slow down enough to where you can just mash in that emergency brake. And that would alleviate the need for trying to reach up to the gear selector and get that vehicle into park with the gun still in your hand, which that could cause an inadvertent, or I'm not going to say inadvertent, that would cause a negligent discharge at that point, or could cause a negligent discharge.
We gotta stop this. We got back here.
So he can see the gun and he immediately opens fire.
Units to block that other driveway.
Come out.
This is painful to watch.
Another driveway.
Come out. Hold on.
Units to block that other driveway.
Like, that should not have gone on for that long.
Come out.
Finally, he gets the magazine out of his gun, discards it, and gets a new one up.
Hold on. Stand by. Everybody stand by. Drop the gun. Stand by. There's a gun. Drop the gun. Stand by. There's a gun in his hand. Stand by.
Yeah, there's a gun in his hand, which means you should still be shooting, in my opinion. They obviously have some reservation on going forward due to the fact the guy has a gun in his hand, but yet none of them appear to be behind any good cover. This guy's got a gun. It's in his hand. He's not moving. That could mean that he's incapacitated, or it could mean that he is temporarily incapacitated and can get up at any moment and resume the fight. It could mean he's playing possum. What I would like to see in instances like this is utilize the entire car for cover. Go back to the trunk area and get behind that area. That way you've got as much of the vehicle between you and them as possible, and then start delivering those verbal commands for them to roll over, get on their stomach, whatever. In this instance, we don't see them making the approach to him. We see what happens after they've made that approach. We can see what looks like a shield up here. So I would say there was a possibility that they waited long enough to get a shield out and make that approach. But I mean, without any other video to go with it, that would be difficult to say exactly, how long it took or anything like that. But with that shield up there, that tells me they waited long enough to get a shield in play and then make the approach. Perfectly fine by me. Take your time. Um, People need to go home at the end of work. So, you know what? If it takes you 5 minutes of hanging out behind the vehicles before you can get a shield and make a safe approach, so be it. It takes 5 minutes. If that guy's bleeding to death in that 5 minutes, oh fucking well. He brought that shit upon himself. He fucking deserves it, in my opinion. So, take your time. Who cares if they're bleeding out? They started this gunfight. It's ended. They die, they die. Take your time. Make that safe approach so everyone goes home at the end of shift. Everyone gets to go home with the same amount of holes they showed up at work. You don't want to go home with extra holes. Surprised again that they did not go into some spiel about ghost guns or anything like that. This is one of those quote unquote ghost gun kits that you can get that in any other LA video, or not LA video, any other California video, they always have something to say about ghost guns, especially the LAPD. They really like talking about that.
And this is an evidentiary.
And the photo again of the school bus with the the gun hole in it. Bullet hole. Can't talk. With a bullet hole in it. Now, like I said, keep in mind, it wasn't just this woman that was in the vehicle. There was also a little kid on the school bus. A little 6-year-old. That little kid's got to be fucking traumatized, man. I mean, try to think back, when you were a tiny little kid and the school bus. Like, the school bus, everyone knows the school bus is a safe place to be, right? And this little kid to have to go through this horrific incident where this dude is just ramming the vehicle and the woman is driving crazy to get away from him, driving erratically, and then the dude shooting at them. Damn, this poor little kid, man, like, that's some rough shit.
Photograph of the bullet strike on the school bus. Buena Park Police Department homicide detectives responded to the location and initiated an investigation related to this incident. The investigation revealed that this was not a random act, but the school bus driver was Mr. Baxter's wife, and he intended to murder her. The victim had an active domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Baxter for a recent domestic violence incident perpetrated in Los Angeles County. The investigation also revealed there was a 6-year-old boy on the bus at the time of this incident. Mr. Baxter had an extensive criminal history, including prior convictions for rape, armed robbery, voluntary manslaughter, narcotic-related offenses, and domestic violence. At the time of this incident, he was on active CDC parole for vehicle theft with priors, and his parole had been revoked. Further, there was an active parole violation warrant for Mr. Baxter, and he had cut off his GPS monitoring device related to his status as a sex offender.
Like, dude was a grade A piece of shit. Sex offender, he's a rapist. He's just a violent piece of shit. And then he's out on parole with his little, GPS monitor. This dude should not have been out of prison. Should not have been out of prison at all. This is a failure of the criminal justice system. The police do a pretty decent job of catching people and throwing them in jail, but when it comes to the courts, they totally fuck everything up and then let these little bastards out when they shouldn't let them out. They should keep this stupid motherfucker should have been kept in prison. There's no reason for him to have been out on ankle monitor. No fucking reason whatsoever. His ass should have been in Concrete City smelling smelly fucking farts all day. No reason for him to be out in public. I would argue that the judges and anyone else involved in him being released early is responsible for this happening. They are responsible for this woman being put at risk like this. They are responsible for that little 6-year-old kid having to endure this. That little kid's probably going to need some psychological help. He's probably going to need some mental health counseling. And those motherfuckers who are responsible for letting that son of a bitch out of prison need to fucking pay for it. It's not much anymore where I'm starting to see thugs and criminals as a clear and present danger to society. I'm starting to see the judges and the prosecutors as a clear and present danger to society. These stupid motherfuckers let these people out when they should not be letting them out. That is a problem in this society. We don't need police reform. We need fucking court reform. We need that fucking last year. We need that last fucking decade. There are too many damn repeat offenders out on the streets continuing to victimize people. Too many of them are out when they should not be out. This shit would have never happened if his ass was still in a jail cell. So, the couple things recap. Going to recap. First thing, the beginning of the video, I think this initial officer had the opportunity to jump the curb here and run this motherfucker over. He had the opportunity. I think he should have took it. Aside from that, the second, glaring issue is this bumbling around with the empty gun and just screwing that all up. Like, dude, not being able to go through a magazine change after firing the slide lock. That's the second issue. Other than that, I think they could have probably shot him a few more times with him still holding that gun in his hand. But that third one, not so bad. The use of deadly physical force, obviously warranted. Didn't violate this dude's rights in any way. The biggest problem out of this entire incident is something that we don't even see on video. Going back to his court appearance where they made the decision to let him out on ankle monitor. That is the biggest fucking mistake in this entire incident. Is when these stupid ass motherfuckers decided to let him out on ankle monitor. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.